Good morning, Panther fans. This is the new routine.
Just go right to it.
Good morning, Panther fans. Now, I know Stu's ready to get started. Before we get started, two things. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. Now, I know me personally, there's a lot of channels that I watch, and I watch them every day, and then I look and I see that I'm not subscribed, and they say, "Why am I not subscribed?" So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button.
Who's not subscribed?
The second thing is if you notice, this is a brand new brand new hoodie. This is one of the many gifts courtesy of MJE, Matthew J. Evans, a huge fan of the channel, huge supporter of the channel. He's on most of the streams. He's
Hey Matthew, I didn't get no hoodie.
Don't start. All right. I send you stuff, Stu. I send you expensive things and you know it. Okay. No, not that. Jesus Christ. This is a family show. Good thing you did. Good thing that's only. This video is no longer marked safe for work. Obviously, Stu is not capable of handling the Panthers' 6-game win streak.
Listen, I was so jacked up last night. I could not fall asleep. All right. Eric just woke me up. All right. I think I went to sleep at about 4:30. 4:15, 4:30. I was watching YouTube videos. I didn't watch your recap. Sorry.
That's okay.
I couldn't take any more of you last night. And then I woke up. I'm like, so I'm literally bleary-eyed. Okay. I got my double cup of coffee here.
Well, I'm going to ruin your morning.
Tim Hortons.
I'm going to ruin your morning. Take a sip, settle in, because I'm about to ruin your morning.
No,
I did not see this. I did not hear this personally, but somebody in the comments of last night's video, I assume that the question was playoff goalie, and what the person in the comments said, that Maurice said, Bob is at the top of the depth chart, and you go with the veteran. So. Okay. I'm hopeful that whoever put that in the comments is full of crap. No offense. I hope you're lying. Please be lying. I hope you're just trying to troll me.
It would counter what he's been saying, which is staying with the hot goalie.
Right. You don't switch goalies now so. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take a breath on that, and we'll put that over here to the side.
So let me answer that, because I'm really not really pleased with people. The hypotheticals that we're already in the playoffs. We're not in it yet. Not that it's jinxing or whatever, but let's put it this way. Okay, so. Lion plays his ass off. We win the next 2 games. We get in the playoffs. And then he starts a rusty Bob.
Right.
And he gets shelled 7 goals. He gets 4 goals in the first 5 minutes. Then what?
Right.
Then what?
Right. No,
then you have to take Bob out, and then you put Lion in. Bob's all pissed off.
Right.
Lion, I don't know if he would be pissed off that he didn't. I mean, he deserves whatever's going to happen is just destiny right now.
I know.
This kid is leading us into the playoffs. Sorry, Bob.
Come on, we lost 4 straight, and
nobody told you to get hurt or sick.
So
and nobody told you to suck, lose 4 games in a row. Not that you lost all of them.
Right. So last night, I guess it was Chucky's 40th goal. Barkov did not get the deflection in front, so it was congratulations to Chucky. And that we got 2 40 goal scorers.
Unbelievable.
And we got 2 40 goal scorers, and I'm not sure how many guys we're going to have at 30, but if Barkov hadn't missed some time and Reinhart.
Well, Reinhart's at 30 already.
Is he? He got 30 despite that start?
Yeah. He missed 12 games. He didn't score in 12 games.
Yeah.
And if Barkov hadn't gotten hurt,
Right.
he'd have 30 goals and
Yeah.
100 points.
Yeah. Well, look, I was nervous last night. Now,
Oh yeah, me too.
Because like Stu says, he don't want to talk about how we're in the playoffs already. I've said my mind is already made up. We know that we needed to go 2-0-1 to clinch. I was not interested in last night being that one because we have one more chance with the one more chance with the Canes and Devils playing one more game before we get to that Canes game. It's still possible either way that the Canes could need that game to get first place, or they could have clinched first place. So those are going to be some scores we're heavily, because that's going to make a huge difference.
What's the difference? Does that mean that the team's not going to play 110%?
Not with the Panthers, but the Canes. Let's face it, if they clinch first place, there's going to be a huge difference in their level of energy versus they need to win that game to avoid the Rangers. The Canes are going to want to do anything they can to avoid the Rangers. My opinion.
Give me a quick sec. I got to get something.
Okay. All right.
Keep talking.
So I got to keep talking. So, yeah. So that's what we got. We got that one more game. Who did the Devils play? We got the Devils are going to play because they lost to the Bruins yesterday 2-1. Jeez, they gave them a fight. And they got the Sabres playing the Devils. Oh, jeez. And the Sabres are not eliminated either. When is that game? Hold on a second. When is that game? Hold on, Stu. Tuesday, April 11th. So there's no Panther game. So that's an interesting game. Tuesday, April 11th is the Devils versus the Sabres. That is going to be a good game because the Sabres are still alive. The Sabres are still mathematically alive. I don't know if they can be eliminated by then. I don't know when the Islanders and Penguins play. Let me see. The Islanders play tomorrow. What about the Penguins? The Penguins play Tuesday. So I believe that means that the Sabres cannot be eliminated before they play their next game, I believe, if my math is correct. So that game's going to play. That plays a huge part in what goes on with us. Because the Canes, let's say the Canes go into that game needing a point, right? They're going to play a different game than if they don't need if they're just resting guys because they just clinched first place, and so it does have an effect. My opinion. I know what Stu's going to say is we just got to win all the games because he's the one that said that we got to win 8 games. But
by the way, there's another Grateful Dead night.
Is that actually a Panther? Yeah, I see the logo. I see the logo right in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, they've had them now. I mean, again, I'm not bragging, but this was my idea, the Grateful Dead night. And then they ended up having Star Wars night, but they got, the Grateful Dead night for you guys that have seen it, they get this Grateful Dead tribute band. They've had, I think they're Crazy Fingers, and they do the T-shirts, the ticket, and whatnot. It's great promotion. But I think there were 3 of them when I was there, so I got the other 2 are tie-dyes. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, man. I said we one game at a time.
I know. Now,
but what happens? We win the next 2 games, go 8-0, make the playoffs. Can we keep the momentum going?
Well, yes, will
it be an emotional high and then a letdown?
I don't think you saw what Chucky said after the game yesterday. This is by contrast. I'll give you some contrast.
He won't let them. By
contrast, the Flames with unnamed players who used to play for the Panthers. Had a must-win game yesterday, and they lost in the shootout to the Canucks, 3-2. No points for Huberdeau, no points for Uyghur. It's a different culture.
Mark my words, guys. It's April 9th, correct?
Yes.
I am predicting.
Oh, I know what's coming. I can smell it. I can smell
Calgary,
it. Go ahead, say it.
Calgary is going to trade Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yep. Yep.
There's going to be a mutual agreement, understanding Huberdeau wants out of Calgary.
Yep.
I don't think he can stand Sutter or his way of coaching. He's, total disciplinarian. And you could see the guy has just totally laid a big egg this year.
Yeah.
So my prediction, and I'm not.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm not Jostradamus, so I don't know, all the particulars of the deal or when it's going to happen. But look for Huberdeau to be traded.
Yeah, I that wouldn't. I don't think that would surprise me at all. Now, who's going to take him? That's a different story. Because
I always said he would go home to Montreal.
You know what? That's not a boy. Does he want to go on to a completely losing team?
I don't know. I think he.
But
a team
he wouldn't
on the rebuild.
I think the team that he'd like to go to, that because he could try to stick it to the Panthers and they had the cap space, is the Sabres.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just an idea.
Yeah. No, I know. We're just throwing it out there.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I've been following quietly the Flames all year.
Right.
Every night that I watch, or every morning as I'm doing now, watch the NHL Network for recaps. I never hear or hardly hear Jonathan Huberdeau's name mentioned. I don't even see him involved in any goals. I mean, what's his stats? Can we pull up? Let's pull up Johnny Boy's stats.
Oh man, this is so wrong. I just want to put the disclaimer out there for anybody who's going to complain about this.
Well, he's going to block. He's going to block us anyway. So
Huberdeau's going to block us.
Yeah, because Ekblad's going to tell him, "Man, you should see what those two idiots were saying about you."
Oh,
they really ragged
on
me. Oh
my God,
pull it up so everybody can see.
All right.
Because I want to gloat a little bit here. If there's any Calgary Flames that are on the channel here, sorry.
Stand by while Stu and I we'll be back to the Panthers game in just a minute. I promise.
Well, come on. We were on the stream.
I'm teasing you. Look, you just woke up. I get to run the show.
Yeah, that's right. I just woke up. You gotta make that bigger. I can't see shit.
That's what she
blurry. Said. Hey guys, don't you love Flying Fluffy Hockey, the #1 Panther fan podcast in the world, huh?
Dude,
you didn't know you were getting comedy this morning,
dude. He's got 54 points and he's a -1. How is that freaking possible? That's not normal, right?
Pull up his.
Right?
I'd like to see his bio where it shows the 21-22 season.
Oh yeah. Over here. Here we go. This is last year, and this is this year. This is by far his worst season, far and away. His third year, he played 79 games and had 54 points.
Yeah, but he's a seasoned pro. Veteran now. You can't compare that.
Even in those bad years, he was a +38, +43.
That trade messed with his head so bad.
I'm in shock.
You don't think Huberdeau's sitting alone in his kitchen, probably pounding shots at the keelback, crying after seeing that Selly by Kachuk last night, saying
Geez.
that
All right,
should be I should be on that team.
I can't take it anymore. I'm not. I can't bash him anymore. Jeez, how is that possible?
How is that
What?
possible?
Hold on a second. I want to see what um. I mean, Brandon Montour is a defenseman, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
like,
Well, we didn't
I
even
want to see
talk. We didn't even talk
point.
about we didn't even talk about Uyghur. Jeez. I don't want to waste any time on Uyghur.
I mean, Montour's a plus 10 with 72 points, and he's a defenseman. I somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not like a huge stat guy, but 54 points and still being a -1, that's bad, right?
Dude, he had 115 points last year.
I know.
He had 85 assists last year. He had 30 goals last year.
So if we're gonna just go all the way back to the Panthers now. I'm thinking if Maurice is thinking he's gonna put Bob into the playoffs, I'm gonna say something that's everybody is gonna hate, but I think he's gonna play Bob these next 2 games. I think he's gonna put Bob in at home to get him warmed up and ready for the playoffs. If that's his plan is to put Bob in for the playoffs, he can't be dumb enough to put him in cold. He's gonna figure we're at home.
We're not in the playoffs yet.
Up here we are. Well, up here we are. Look, I'm not saying I agree with it.
You know what?
I'm not saying I agree with it.
Go ahead. Start Bob Monday.
I'm not saying I agree with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying if what he said was Bob is at the top of the depth chart and you go with the veteran goalie, if that's what he said about the playoffs, he's got to put Bob in before then.
No, he don't.
Well, I mean,
no, he don't. Because he's figuring. Well, Bob's he's a seasoned veteran. He could come. He can come in cold after missing 12 games and shut the door.
I'm going to tell a football story that shows the exact same thing that, I'm telling the story. This was the, you know what, Stu? How about, I'll remove you. I can remove you, by the way. So you just better sit there and listen. The Buffalo Bills had Doug Flutie, and he led them all the way to the playoffs. And then when the playoffs started, they said, now we're going to play Rob Johnson. And if you're familiar with the Music City Miracle, the game where at the last possible second, the Titans ran the ball back from the kickoff, ran it back for a touchdown, and Buffalo lost. Karma is a bitch. That's all I'm going to say. I've seen that play out before, Maurice. Bill, I know you're watching. If you think we're going to take it easy, if I'm just saying. Now, I don't mind. I don't mind if I throw a fit and then Bob shoves it down my throat at the end of the year and he's sitting there with the cup going, I told you, Jaws. I play all the games. I don't mind. Shove it right back down me. But I mean, I don't I'm speechless. That's all I can say is that hopefully I mean, Lyon only allowed another 2 goals last night. I know he wasn't tested a whole lot, but that save on Milano, that's not legal. I don't even think that save was legal.
That kid had all day. Uh-huh. Nobody was around him, and that's again. There's the puck watching thing that we're guilty of.
Yeah,
I hate when that happens. But
Mark Stahl has not been good. Mark Stahl has definitely not been good these last couple of weeks. We're winning despite.
Randy said it. Remember that save, Panther fans.
Yeah.
We go on to win this game.
Yep.
So, listen, I don't think that's going to happen. I just I don't know why this guy put that out there. Usually when a goalie is red hot like this goalie is, you ride him until You
Yeah.
ride him in. Billy Smith, prime example.
Well, and the other thing to that is I talked about this on the podcast at the end of last week. Bennington and Murray, I brought up their stats, and when especially Bennington played like 30, 32 games that one year, and his numbers, and then his numbers in the playoffs when when the Blues won the cup, very, very similar to what Lyon is putting out there. And Matt Murray did the same thing. And every once in a while, you get these goalies where there's really no book on them. Teams haven't faced them before. They don't know and they can't figure him out in time. And boom, the team wins the cup. That's twice. Yeah. And that's not been that long. It's been in the last 10 years that's happened.
The only difference between this goalie and those other two goalies were like 18, 19, 20 years old when that shit happened.
Sure, but
Murray was a rookie.
Right, right.
Lyon's 30 years old.
Yeah.
But I mentioned that not because of his inexperience.
Right.
I mentioned that because of his age and not being like a Spencer Knight, 21-year-old that could bounce back and play, 20 games in a row.
Right.
I don't know what the fatigue factor is going to be. However, he only faced, 22. He didn't really have a heavy workload last night, did he?
No.
As opposed to the night before, when he made 56 saves. And
hey, look, I will give Maurice this. It is a tough spot because if we were not fighting for a playoff spot, if we had our spot clinched, you clearly would want to rest Lyon at this point. Okay, that's obvious, right? And you would want Bob going. You need both goaltenders going into the playoffs. We don't have any room though for there to be a whoopsies against Toronto, and then all right, we'll throw Lyon back out there. I mean, we just
that's correct.
We put ourselves.
That's why I don't think it's. I'll be very surprised, but knowing Maurice, I'm
going to go to the comment. Let me see who it was and what they said.
I will tell you this.
Maurice this was Esoteric Veritas said. Maurice said Bob is at the top of the depth chart, and you go with the veteran. He says, well, essentially, he was saying Bob will be the starter in the playoffs, and there's just nobody in the comments has come back and said that he didn't say that. Esoteric Veritas is usually pretty spot on with watching the post games, and I don't watch the post games, so I don't get to see a lot of that stuff before we come on here because I like sleep. So yeah, I mean,
I didn't hear him say that in his post game comments.
Right.
What I heard him say was that the pressure was so heavy in that room.
Right.
And they handled the pressure really well.
That's good.
I mean, in between the second and third.
Right.
The third period was probably the best period of the year. I don't know if I agree with that. But let's just say they played desperation hockey.
Right.
I mean, if you think about what was going on before the Tkachuk goal, I mean, pretty much the whole period. But when you think about Reinhart, Stahl set Reinhart up right in front, and Reinhart had an open net, basically. And the defenseman at the very last second.
Yeah, at the very last second.
Played down and deflected it, and it hit the crossbar.
Yep.
So 9.99999% of the time, Reinhart scores that goal, and we still win the game. But
right.
Obviously, major move, and he had to do it because we can get into a whole big tangent about Duclair. But making that switch and putting Chucky back up with Barkov and Verhaeghe, made all the difference.
Well, before we get into Duke, and you should talk about the pressure, something we haven't talked about in a while. You guys know channel sponsored by Manscaped. And this is the Weed Whacker. Now, I keep it over here next to the laptop, but it's a mess. This area is off camera for a reason. It's a mess. It's like any genius's office would be. It's an absolute mess. But I keep it right here. Now, three times, I have done messed up, and it has slid right off the desk and bloop, bam, just smashed onto the floor, right in the bottom. No problem. No problem at all. The stuff's not cheaply made. That's the point that I'm trying to make, is that the more that I'm using this stuff and the more I'm comparing it to the other products that I've used in the past, it is definitely not cheaply made. Because I know some people say, well, it's a little bit pricey. It's pricey for a reason. I've used the other trimmers, and every 6 months to a year, man, you got to buy a new one. It goes dull. They're not really waterproof, so you use it in a bathroom, water leaks in, and it ruins them. These things are worth the price.
You know
Make
what
sure
they
you
say.
head over. Go ahead.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, you get what you pay for. There's no doubt about that. You can head on over to manscaped.com, use code FlyingFluffy. You still can get 20% off and the free shipping. I think we've got another month with that code activated. I know we haven't talked. I wanted to back off talking about it, and then now we're getting into the playoffs, which we are in the playoffs, Stu. I'm not negotiating that.
Okay.
Then we'll hit it hard again. Like I said, the stuff is worth the money. I've used all these different products for a while now, and they're standing up. They're standing up to abuse. We'll put it that way. So now, speaking of taking abuse, Duclair is going to have to take some abuse now. So look, I highly, highly commend the guy for coming back from that injury. It is unfortunately, it's a little bit of a different injury than Huberdeau's, because Huberdeau's was a freak type of thing. I have a feeling we're seeing that Duclair's was wear and tear. And the first goal last night, he just got blasted right by. And then Mark Stahl made the mistake of watching the puck, left this man open at the side of the net, puck's in the back of the net. Then by the end of the game, he had Duclair move to the fourth line. And that's not a realistic, viable place for Duclair. I talked about this in the recap. I don't know what our cap situation is. I don't know if we can bring up the Denisenko now. But remember, Duke got benched last year in the playoffs because he just wasn't cutting it. And yes, the dude can score like nobody's business when he's playing well. But that's his game, is scoring and speed and creating chances off the scoring. He's not going to play defensive hockey. So
he's had more than a dozen chances. I'm talking solid opportunities to bury it.
Yeah.
And he's missed every one. Remember, the only goal he scored was a gift, an empty netter that I think Reinhardt gave him.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken. Or Stahl gave him.
Right.
Other than that, he's done shit. So, sorry, Duke.
Yeah,
so, to go now just on the opposite, Mr. Ekblad, if you're watching, we're going to tip my hat to you. You needed some tough love. Eric and I gave you that tough love. Brooks Copley, who's leading the Masters right now,
right,
gave you tough love. He's the one that gets national attention. We didn't. We got blocked. That's the only thing that happened with us.
Yeah, but he didn't say he'd never be friends with us.
We're we don't want to be friends. We're like your parent. We're like your dad. And we, like Keith Kachuk called out his son and the rest of the team, calling them soft. And look what's happened. So we really did it with all good intentions, because you know what, Mr. Ekblad, hold on.
Here we go. I love it when Stu's low on sleep. There you go.
This is the only player jersey I have, you mother.
Yeah.
I've always been your biggest supporter, and I'm really happy to see that you're back. Now,
maybe it's Maybe he just doesn't like me, and it's guilt
Now,
by association.
defensively,
It's entirely possible.
you're still a liability. I'm sorry.
Oh, geez, he couldn't
All right,
do it.
you're still slow. You still make but you know what? If you're contributing offensively, I'm okay with that. Yandel, it's 2.0. Yandel 2.0. By the way, your Yandel puck's in the mail.
I just would like it noted that all started by me complaining about Duke.
Well, I had to bring Ekblad up because I've been really hard on him, but there comes a time when a player is better than he's playing, and you have to give him a kick in the ass.
Yes,
and you have to piss him off, and I think that's what happened.
That's true.
And a player of that caliber called the trophy, first pick in the draft, called the trophy winner.
Right.
I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that he's contributing.
Yeah.
He's got Forsling out there to cover his ass. So,
but what I've been noticing, I noticed multiple times yesterday, especially the third period, that Forsling was all the way back. Like Ekblad was up and we were trying to score and everything like that. But then when the puck came back the other way, it wasn't a breakaway because Forsling was literally just standing in front of the net going, come on, bitches. He was, I mean, I loved that.
Yeah.
I love that. They were like, we're not, they wanted to be aggressive, but they also understood that we could not have another 3.8 seconds left. And that's where I was concerned yesterday was heading because, yes, we could have won it overtime and it would have counted and we don't need that tiebreaker and fine. That wasn't my concern. My concern was the longer this game goes tied, they're going to get nervous. That pressure, they're going to start.
Anything can happen. Right.
Right.
Well,
and I would have felt horrible for Lyon if after all that time, some fluke double deflection goes in with 5 seconds left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when Tkachuk scored, man, it was like the birth of another child. It got crazy. Let me tell you.
So that's a good segue now to talk about the most underrated defenseman, probably the most underrated player in the league. I mean, you never hear Gustav Forsling's name mentioned on the NHL network. Well, I shouldn't say never. You hardly ever hear about this tank of a player.
Right.
And that's what you got to call him because after that Wilson hit, man, he got rocked.
Yep.
It didn't look good. It never looks good. How many times has he blocked shots and gone off? I mean, he went to the locker room one game and he was gone like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
And I'm thinking, what? Forsling's out for the rest of the game. And next thing you know, Goldie's calling his number.
Right.
So, and I mean, that kid's got to get like, he's got to get mentioned nationally. I put a tweet out there. If you guys go check my Twitter feed and you see that tweet that I made about Forsling being the most underrated defenseman in the league, hit the like button, hit the what do you call it? Retweet,
yeah.
Add comments to it because I sent it to the NHL network.
Okay.
And the NHL. And this kid needs to be recognized. But okay.
Well, maybe you're gonna have to get his jersey.
I'd like to get one of those retro jerseys with Forsling.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, I said if I was going to get another player jersey, that's the one I would get. But maybe I will the day that we re-sign him.
Right. Yeah, well, that's got to come.
I don't see us. Zito's main goal this summer, boy, is Forsling and Montour locked up on long-term deals.
No, that's absolutely got to happen.
That's the first thing that's got to happen.
Right.
And I would do it on the same day. I'd give him matching 8-year, $7 million contracts.
Montour's 30 years old, bro.
Montour's 30?
Montour's 30. I'm pretty sure Brian Montour is 30. Brandon Montour. No, he's 28. He's 28.
And how old's Forsling?
Forsling's, I only think Forsling's like 24 or 25. Let me see. Forsling is 26.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind 8 for Forsling, but
It
8 for
doesn't matter.
Montour.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, both of those guys have to be locked up for the max, and they're both going to get between 6 and 7 million. Mark my words, guys.
Oh boy.
Especially Montour. With the numbers Montour put up this year, forget about it.
I know.
And if
No, I don't. I'm not disagreeing at all, man.
Montour gets that money. I'm telling you, Forsling's agent is gonna.
Right.
That's what's gonna happen. And you know what? That's 14 mil.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean.
We're gonna have. Well, I don't know. I just think that's our. If that is the top priority for.
Well,
Tito.
one thing that oddly is helping us right now is Anton Lundell didn't blow up yet because he needs a contract as well. So if he had blown up this year and gotten 30 goals, that was going to be another, a heavier bridge deal than he's going to get now. Now we can go to him.
I see him getting between 4 and 4.5, or maybe 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, guys, again, don't remember who, but there were at least one of you guys out there saying Reinhardt at 6.5. Are you crazy? Trade that mother. Remember? Whoever you are, I'm calling you out right now. Who's been the main man right now? Just remember, Reinhardt's got 31 goals now, I think.
Yeah.
And he didn't score in his first 12 games.
He just can't shoot. If it's a deflection, it's fine.
But he sure can deflect it.
Yeah, I never seen anything like it.
Yeah, that was a high stick. The Tkachuk thing was, if it's me, and I'm not biased, it's a high stick. But it was so gray,
right?
And it was called the goal on the ice. Even Tkachuk said he was hoping that it would be inconclusive. Yeah. But I knew they were going to take. Can you imagine? We had 2 of those, taken away from us.
Right.
But I will give Jessica Blaylock props for pointing out the fact that it was, and then Maurice said hockey karma, that the winning goal was scored by Tkachuk, and then the empty net was scored by Reinhardt.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Right. Good point.
So, and then you gotta love puck hog, man. I mean, what a shot!
Yeah, I know.
And you know why we scored those goals? The importance of winning the faceoff in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
We were big last night. There was a stretch there where we won every faceoff on the power play. Yeah. You get that faceoff one, and then you get that power play set up,
right?
As opposed to losing it and then having it shot down and regrouping. So that's big.
Yep.
So props to Reinhardt there because he won most of them. And props to Barkov.
Lundell had a good night in the circle, too. He was over 50%.
Alexander Barkov quietly getting it done. But we still know who the real captain of this team is.
Yes.
And I've followed the Panthers since day one, as you know. That is the best goal celly I've ever seen a Panther do.
Yeah.
Pavel Bure used to do some good ones, but I mean, I'd have to look back at some of the Panther, greatest moments and stuff. I don't know. I was thinking about, the Stanley Cup playoffs in '96. I'll have to ask Billy what he thinks, and Randy.
Yeah.
I did. I was texting with Randy after the game, and he didn't answer that. That was my last question to him. Have you seen a better, better celly than that one. I mean,
yeah.
that's a guy that's a general you want to follow into battle.
Yep. No, he's
And then,
definitely.
sorry.
But no, go
And
ahead.
then in his post-game interviews, he's so humble and so classy that somebody brings something up like that and he goes, "It's not about my numbers.
Right.
It's about the team and
Right.
that the team is doing what they're doing." And Alex Lyon, he went on and on and on about Alex Lyon. So, I mean, I don't expect a player to be that,
Well, there's one thing that you're never going to hear come out of his mouth, and that is, "Who cares?" you won't hear that coming out of his mouth. So,
well, I don't see him posting on Instagram.
no, he's definitely not posting on Instagram on the
Showing
boat.
pictures of his summer cottage. Listen, that trade really messed with Johnny Boy's head. I don't know if he'll ever recover. He's got to be fuming.
Sure.
He's a young kid. There's jealousy. We're human beings.
Right.
He's probably so jealous right now that, number one, he's not here anymore to be part of the team and his friends. But number two, that the guy that they traded for him is just killing it.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that we only have 2 games and he's 7 points behind, because Kachuk deserves to have the record for the best season ever.
Right.
I'd like to see him get to 42 goals. I mean,
well,
he's not going to catch Huberdeau's 85 assists, but it'd be nice if he got to 42 goals before the season's over.
Yeah. Well,
that was his. I don't even know how many 3-point games he has this year.
Right.
But he's right up there with McDavid. And
yeah, no,
so let's segue into that conversation, because that was going to be my next thing.
Which was what?
MVP.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to win. But damn, you can make an argument.
He's going to come in second.
Right.
Now, there was people that were saying, because it was, I don't know if there was an actual tweet put out there about, but they were saying McKinnon, blah, blah, blah. Hey, the Hart Trophy is the most valuable player to his team.
Right.
McDavid obviously has put up like crazy numbers.
Yeah.
He's only the 6th guy in NHL history to put up 150
points, right?
I don't know if he's only the 6th guy, but trying to think.
He might only be the 6th guy. It's just Gretzky did it so many times.
Yeah, Gretzky and Lemieux. I know it said Lemieux did it 4 times. So yeah, so maybe I'm right. But the thing is, there's Draisaitl got 100 points this year, and Nugent Hopkins just got 100 points.
Right.
Okay, so and then they got Hyman, and they got other guys on. But think about, Kachuk's the only one. Who's the guy that's closest to him?
Right.
I think he's like 30 points, ahead of whoever.
Oh, you mean in terms of for the Panthers?
In terms of, like I said,
Panthers points.
Where would Edmonton be without McDavid?
Right.
As opposed to where would the Panthers be without Kachuk? How many games did this kid save our ass or get things started for us?
So Kachuk is obviously the leader in everything but goals. Points wise, you've got Kachuk at 108, then you got Barkov at 77 and Montour at 72, and then Verhaeghe 71. And Barkov has played 11 fewer games. Barkov has only played 66
So Barkov,
games.
as we know, averages a point a game. Sometimes 2 points a game. So
right.
If he was only, he had 70 something, what did you say? 77 points?
Yeah, he's got 77 points.
Yeah, so we know Barkov would have had 100 points this year.
Yeah. I'm looking at the rest.
Most important thing right now, guys, No injuries.
Yeah.
Always worried. That's why I was really worried when Forsling got his bell rung last night. Tom Wilson, right behind the rat, Brad Marchand. He's my number 2 most hated player in the league.
So remember I was ranking on Huberto. So I guess it's not as uncommon as I would think. I was ranking on Huberto for having 54 points and being a -1. Sam Reinhart has 66 points and he's a -12.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like and nobody else is that way. Everybody else is plus almost 20, at least 10. Like even Montour's plus 10. But Reinhardt somehow has 66 points and is a -12. So
what's Ekblad's minus?
Hold on a second. Let me get back. Ekblad is a -12 as well, but he's only got 38 points, and he's a defenseman. You know, that's I didn't. So I maybe that's just bad, equally bad, or it's more it's more common than I thought.
You got to understand one factor in that is Reinhardt plays, the penalty kill.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
And there was a stretch where we didn't have such a good penalty kill.
Right.
The last few games, we've had a pretty good penalty kill.
Yeah, special teams.
I don't think Ottawa didn't score on us the other night, and the Caps didn't score on us the other night.
Right. Yeah, and we had that whole 2 minutes of 5-on-3 with Ottawa.
Yeah. Yep. And that was sweet.
But a lot of that's Alex Lyon right now too.
So,
yep.
I thought.
All right.
I just want to, let's just review a couple of more things, and then we'll.
Okay, sure.
I know we're ragging in him, but hitting the 47-minute mark. Wow, this is a long one.
Yeah.
Eric Stahl.
I'm hungry.
Eric Stahl. Eric Stahl had a good game. Lamborghini brings it every night.
Oh, that guy.
But that line was good.
Right.
And
Colin White has played well too.
Lusterrainen had a great block.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
yeah.
What do you think about Giovanni Smith?
I think that fourth line, or what was the fourth line with Cousins and White and Smith, has been definitely better. They've been getting more ice time with Bennett out. When Bennett comes back, I'm sitting here talking about how bring up Denisenko. No, when Bennett comes back, it should just be Duke to the bench. Yeah. That's to me, that's the play.
And Maurice hinted that he might be back tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we want to
that
see
would
what
be
we got.
So awesome.
Yes. That would be huge. Because that would be that extra little burst of energy and gasoline that we need right at the end here.
Then it's that type of players. So
exactly.
What do you do? Do you put Tkachuk back with Bennett?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bennett and Verhaeghe?
When Bennett is back,
what do you do there?
You're gonna go. Oh, that's right, because you need a right winger.
And Bennett and Verhaeghe, and then how about you put the old Finn line together?
Well, we need a right winger.
Lusterrainen and Lundell and Barkov. Wouldn't that be a trip?
Yeah, but aren't they all left? Isn't Lundell a lefty too?
They're all lefties.
Yeah, so somebody'd have to be off. Damn it. We'll figure it out. Somebody's going to have to play out of position.
or you put Barkov with Lundell and Reinhardt.
Barkov with Lundell and Reinhardt. And then who's 3C? Lusterrainen, Stahl? You're going to put
Lusterrainen, and then or you could keep Verhaeghe and Tkachuk on the top line, and have Bennett. See, I like the combo of Lundell and Reinhardt together.
Right.
Listen, guys, it's going to be interesting to see.
Look, at this point, everybody's played with everybody. So
yeah, and at this point, let's just get Bennett back. and
Right.
let's just see where that goes. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that tomorrow, when the lineups are announced, we see
Right.
Bennett's name in there. That would be a real kick, real
Yeah.
nice kick in the
Yep. Yep.
yeah, whatever. Anyway,
All
okay.
right.
Woo, this was a
I'm gonna
long one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat. I gotta pee. I gotta eat. Fluffy's looking at me like, dude, I'm hungry. So we appreciate all the support, Panther fans. I'm gonna go mow my grass, and then yeah, we'll be back Monday. The game is Monday, so I'll
Did you
be
mail
back
out my
Monday.
package?
What's that? No, I had to talk to you about that off camera, dummy. Can't talk
Okay.
about that on camera.
I
So I'll
want you
talk
to
about it
wear
off camera. Huh?
I wanted to wear my shirt.
Oh yeah. We'll get it. I'll talk to you about it as soon as I'm done recording. So, and that's now. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you again soon.